Okay, make a sourdough loaf with me. Well, I'm not sure if it's going to be a loaf or a buell. Not made up my mind. I've got in here my water, which is not tap water. I don't use tap water. It's the, I think, reverse osmosis, the Primo water. You could use distilled water, filtered water. I don't like using tap water. They put too many chemicals in that stuff. And then I've got 85 grams of starter to this. We'll mix that up. We're gonna mix in our flour. Look over me, I got a little bit of water on me. This, I'm using 520 grams of all-purpose flour. That's organic flour, does not have that enzyme in it, is unbleached. And I've got 3/4 of a teaspoon of fine sea salt to that. So yeah, and my starter is very active. So it is an active starter. Okay. Now I'm just taking my dough whisk and mixing up my starter in with my water. Okay. I'm not sure if I'll do any inclusions on this one or not. I may, but I'm not positive. So I've got here my flour and my salt mix. So I'll pour those into there. Just start whisking it around. I'm looking for getting it to a shaggy dough consistency, and then I'll go in with my hands and form it into the ball. And yeah. Okay, so got that. Now let's see if we get it to a shaggy dough consistency. Right now we've still got a lot of flour, you can see. I wish I had a better way of setting up my phone so I could show you more, but I really don't. Just the layout of my kitchen. So I'll get it to that shaggy dough, and I'll go in with my hands to get the rest of that flour in there. Okay. And this is for my family, so I'm not wearing gloves. If I were like selling it or something like that, I'd wear gloves, but I'm not. Okay. And y'all have to let me know if you like these type of videos. I mean, I like to do all sorts of different things, baking, cooking, creating things like body products, soap, stuff like that. And yeah. That off, and I love plants, so that's another big thing for me. Okay. Okay. Now I'm just taking it, see, it's very shaggy, so now I'm making it into that ball. Putting in the flour that did not go into it. Okay, I think we pretty much got it here. Okay, we got it into a nice ball, and we're going to put it back in here. I like these bowls for this. Need to get me a clear glass bowl that's big enough to mix in. So yeah, and then I need to figure out how to set my phone. Now I put my lid on it. I've got what this is on top. That way, you know, if you're making more than one loaf. Okay, time for our first stretch and fold on our normal sourdough. Okay, and I like to just stretch it, not tiring it, I'm not breaking it, I'm just stretching it, as you can see. And it's stretching really good, so I like that. It's got really stretchy. So I'm going to lay it back down in there, pull it up, kind of let it just stretch a little more all the way around. I'll turn my bowl and go around doing that. everybody has their own way of how they do their stretch and folds. So, and then look at how pretty that dough is. Isn't that beautiful? Smells lovely, so that's awesome. Okay, so put it back down in there. I'll put my lid on. I'll bring it back for the next. Okay, my plain sourdough. Let's see how it does. Whoop. You gonna drop? Starting to. A little sticky though. Wants to drop, but yeah, gonna have to check out my recipe. See where I've done something wrong or something. It looks a little different, but not too bad. Look. Oh yeah, it's kind of fat. Oh, it's got bubbles. Oh, good. Okay, that's good. Looks good. I like that it's got the bubbles. Yeah, I like that. Now this one, I'm planning on doing a mule. So I'm actually going to make this a cheese sourdough. So we're going to use a mixture of cheddar cheeses in here. And yeah, see how it goes. I want to stretch it out good. Get it really good. Now I did use flour. You know, I remember back when I done it, I did not use flour, but this is really sticky. So I'm gonna have to work on my recipe. Looks like. Okay, I'm gonna put my cheese in now because I wasn't sure. Sometimes if I'm sure about what, you know, I'm gonna do, I'll put the cheese in when I am doing stretch and folds. But I wasn't sure, you know, so I just went with it this way. I'm not putting a crap load, just, you know. Okay. And I know somebody's going to come at me that I'm doing this wrong. But you know what? Everybody does their own thing. So I'm doing my own thing. I think it's awesome to be an individual and do things the way that you want to do them. Okay, stitch her up. Okay. I do wish I'd... Because let's see, I'm wanting to make it long. I'm not wanting to make it round. If I'd wanted to make it round, I would have went different about that. But I'm not. I'm just trying to build some tension there without going around with it too much. Build some tension. Pop her. Pop that sourdough. And normally, I always used like bowls. I never had a Benetton, and I happened across some. These are the silicones. I have no clue. I did put flour in it. I didn't have any rice flour. I thought I had a bag of rice flour, but I sure couldn't find it. So, neighbor's home. I hear his vehicle. But yeah, I'm just trying to build some tension there on this. And then I'm going to put her in her Benetton, and we're going to see tomorrow how it comes out. I'm hoping for the best, because I have to say my plain loaf is looking more like it used to. Now, back in the day, I mean, back when I was doing it I can't remember how many years ago because my sourdough died, but I was doing chocolate. I was doing all kinds, you know. And then I do like to do yeasted as well. Okay, I think it's ready. So I'm gonna put it in there. See, got it in there. I am gonna kind of stitch it again on that underneath part. Just a little bit, just a wee bit. I am hopeful that this one comes out good. I haven't named my sourdough. I don't even know if I'm going to name it. I know most people do, but yeah. Mine seems to be very healthy though and growing really well. Okay, there she is. Okay, I'm going to cover this, and I'm actually going to put a damp cloth over it because I like doing that. Because normally when I'd have it in a bowl, I'd have the cloth underneath it and then on top of it. I'm not sure if I'll use damp or not, but I am going to put a cloth over it, and then I'm going to put plastic over it as well. And we'll come back tomorrow and see. We're ready to see how this turns out. I'm going to put it on some parchment paper, and yeah, then we'll score it. Hopefully this silicone thing releases it. I've never used one, so I don't know. It's not acting. So, oh, there we go. Okay, okay. Wow, not bad actually. I don't know. Hopefully you can see it. Look, it worked. Okay, okay. So get that on there. I've got it on my parchment paper, and I want it, you know, pretty in the middle because I'm going to be using that to actually pick this up. Put me a little bit of flour on here. Let's see, I'm trying to think how I want to actually, and I wish you could see more of what I'm doing. I'll show you. Okay, got my lane. Okay, I think I want to go, oh, I'm just hoping this one turns out. And I think I know what I've been doing wrong. My house is really warm right now. I think I've been letting it sit out too long. So, yeah. Let's see. I'm just doing something. It's usually the way I do it. I just go with it. And we'll see. I mean, you know. But I definitely want to go with that good. Okay. Now. You know what? I'm going to pause you and then I'll show you. Maybe you can see. I just put a slice here, and then I put some, see, little ones on the top. And yeah, I'll bring you right back. Okay, I'm going to be baking this actually in, I'm not going to bake it in my Dutch oven. I'm going to bake it in my, yeah, terracotta, if I don't break it, terracotta, it's called a Romertoff. Maybe I'm saying that correctly, maybe I'm butchering it. And when you use them, you have to soak the lid. The lid is not glazed on the inside like the bottom is, and you soak it for anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. And it's just according to how you want to do it, and you have to learn it. I'm gonna start writing everything down myself, and I'm gonna put it into a cold oven. I'm not going to preheat the oven like I would if I was using a Dutch oven. I'm just going to cut it down once I put this in there, and it's anywhere from like 425, I think, to 450. I'm going to do 425 because my oven tends to overheat. It gets hotter than the, you know, other ovens. And I'm actually, you know, that's, you'll put it in there from 30 to 40 minutes is what it says. I'm going to check mine at 30 because, yeah, like I said, it gets really hot. And then if it's ready at 30, if it's not, then I'll check it again at 40. And then once it looks like it's ready to you, you take the lid off and put it back in there for 10 to 20 minutes. So, yeah. So let's see if we can get this baby down in here. See? Okay, we got it in there. I could have used my bigger one. I got a bigger one, but it kind of fits. It pretty much fits pretty good, as you can see. So this one, I think, will work pretty good. I want to keep I want to keep those. I'm kind of being able to get it out, actually. Okay. See here? There's what it says. And I have soaked it. So, I'm just going to put my lid on, like so. As you can see, I'll put this in there, and we're going to go from there. Hopefully it turns out perfectly, but if not, you know, you take the fails along with the wins. Eventually you get it right. I mean, if it's something you really love doing, I love baking sourdough, so I'm not going to give up. I am going to try some different strategies, which I think, like I said, I think I left it in room temperature and let it over process and everything. So yeah, I'll bring you back once we see how it does. I actually raised the temperature up on the oven to 440. I put it back in there for 15 minutes, and it still looks to me like it needs longer. So we're going to put it back in there. I'm going to put it back in there with the lid on because it's not very brown at all. I see my cut there, but yeah, and then we'll see from there. Well, that was a fail, but it's just so dense, like there's nothing there. It feels like. So I'm taking that as a fail. You win some, you lose some. Learning again, once again.